What is going on, guys? If you haven't heard, apparently Donald Trump wants to have a UFC event at the White House. Now, before I even get into the video, I'm just going to say this event is probably not going to happen until literally this time next year. So there's like a 0% chance that this card could actually be reality. But I just decided to pick some fights that I thought would be cool if they happen at the White House. And just, for your information, Colby Covington and Sean Strickland are not on this fucking card. I don't want them to build a card of fighters that are just American. I think it should be good fights. I want some fucking blood on this card. I want people to get hurt. I want fucking damage. So the focus of this is going to be good fights, not Americans. And I think that's what the White House deserves. So yeah. First fight, Josh Emmett versus David Onama. I mean, this is going to go one of two ways. David Onama is going to get flatlined, or Josh Emmett is going to get finished. I would probably go with Josh Emmett. I keep picking against David Onama. I don't ever think he's that good, and he keeps proving me wrong. But I think Josh Emmett would be able to clip him. He does get hit a lot, and Josh Emmett just has different power. But this is a perfect example of a fight that I think should be at the White House. Somebody's gonna get finished. This is guaranteed to be a good fight. And yeah, Josh Emmett is American, so is David Onama, so that's a bonus. Yeah, this would just be a sick fucking fight. I'm 99% sure somebody's getting KO'd, so this is a perfect opener for a White House card. But next fight, I've got Joaquin Buckley versus Kevin Holland. Now, I think this is another good matchup. They don't like each other. They've got beef. They're both American, so that's a pro. And you're telling me you wouldn't want to see this matchup? Be for real. This is an amazing matchup, and you can tell this is the second fight on the card, so this is going to be a stacked fucking card. But I think this would be a good fight because I'm not sure how easily Buckley would be able to take down Holland, so I think he'd be forced into a striking match. I think it'd be a great fight. They've had beef, so if there's a press conference, get them on it. And I think this would be fire because Kevin Holland is fighting D-Rod. That's just not what I want to see. I want to see him have this kind of big matchup that's not too high in the rankings for him. Buckley's not in the top 5, so I feel like they could justify making this, especially if Kevin Holland does beat D-Rod. I would probably go with Buckley to win this. I think he's a lot better than their first fight, but I think they would scrap. And knowing them, I don't think either of them, especially Buckley, I don't think he would lay in prey at all. Even if he was able to, I feel like he would go out there trying to take Kevin Holland's head off because I know they don't really like each other. And he would definitely want to get that win back. But I think this would be a perfect matchup for the White House. So hopefully we see it. Hopefully this happens. I'm going to make my camera a little bit bigger. All right. Yeah, this is a sick fucking fight. Perfect fight for the White House. This next one, this is a sick fucking fight too. This is the theme. Amazing fights, and that is exactly what this is. Jan Blachowicz versus Azamat Murzakanov. This is a fucking striker's delight. They're going to be throwing fucking bombs. They're going to be throwing heavy kicks. I'm not sure who I would pick to win, if I'm being 100% honest. I think Azamat is a lot faster. I think he moves way better, but at the same time, Jan could slow down his footwork with leg kicks. We haven't seen Azamat against somebody this high level, and I think this is a perfect next step for Azamat. He deserves a jump up in competition, and yeah, this would be probably looking at some of these fights. I wouldn't be surprised if this would be fight of the night, but there's a lot of good fucking fights on here. But I think this would be amazing. I mean, Azamat, he goes out there, he throws bombs. Every strike he throws, he's trying to take your head off. And he's dangerous with every fucking strike. This guy can knock you out with head kicks, flying knees, right hooks, like name it, he can knock you out with it. So I would love to see this fight. I think this should be next, regardless of where it takes place. And like I said earlier, there's no fucking way this is going to happen at the White House. We just don't know what the UFC is going to look like by this time next year. So yeah, this isn't going to happen, but this is just like what I want to happen. So yeah. Next fight, Mauricio Huffy versus Michael Chandler. Need I say anything else? This is in my opinion, a layup for Mauricio Huffy. But he does carry his hands very low. Um, his one loss in his career, he got chinned. Michael Chandler could chin him, but I think this would just be a vicious, brutal beating from Huffy. But at least his wrestling will get tested because if Chandler is not a complete fucking moron, he will try and take Huffy down. But I think this would be fucking fireworks from Huffy. I think he'd get a highlight reel KO. And just imagine the fighting nerds hype and the Huffy hype if he goes out there and he knocks out Michael Chandler in the first round in the fucking White House, dude. And if Michael Chandler wins, we're gonna get the best post-fight speech of all time in the fucking White House. I mean, dude, like, it's just a win-win. Huffy wins, he gets a highlight reel KO at the biggest event of all time, probably the greatest venue of all time in the White House. Chandler wins, he's most likely getting a finish. I don't see this going to a decision, and we get to hear a bunch of yapping bullshit on the mic, which I'm up for that. I would like to see that. So I think this is another good one. Next fight, Jamal Hill versus Dominic Reyes. This I think is another fucking good one. And I think this is a fight we could see next. Dominic Reyes is on a win streak. Jamal Hill is on a loss streak. They're not too far apart in the rankings. And I think this would be a great test for Dominic Reyes to see where he is really at. Because, honestly, he's on a nice win streak. But aside from Krylov, I don't think he's beat anybody close to the level of Jamal Hill. Like, I don't know. I think it'd be a good fight. Jamal Hill is very tough. We saw Khalil and Yuri land bombs on him, and it took a lot from Yuri to knock him out. Khalil was able to drop him and not able to finish him, but Dominic Reyes has huge power in his hands, and I would probably go with him to knock out Jamal Hill, if I'm being honest, because we've seen Jamal Hill get hit with that counter left hand time and time again with Yuri. And I think Dominic Reyes will be able to replicate that. And I think when you get hit with a left hand from Dominic Reyes, he's got a different type of power. He's fucking huge. His left hand is perfect. So I would probably pick him to knock out Jamal Hill. But I think it would be a great fight. And Jamal Hill is very tough. So if he's able to take some punches from Reyes, I think this could easily turn into a banger. And I think it would just be a sick striking match. And that's what I'm looking for. Next fight, Royval versus Moreno. We got USA versus Mexico beef. Whoever loses gets deported easily. Good stuff. Like, I think this is another good rematch. It's gonna happen anyway. Who is Royval gonna fight if it's not Moreno? Who's Moreno gonna fight if it's not Royval? They need to settle it. It's 1-1. A lot of people might not want to see this just because it's a rematch or a trilogy, and there's so many of those at flyweight. But I think this is the next step for both guys. And their second fight wasn't that great, but I feel like they have both gotten a little bit better. Like Moreno in that second fight, I think he was in a little bit of a funk. He was not himself. He didn't fight like himself at all. Royval just came off the best fight of the year with Joshua Van. He's going to come to scrap every time. And I think this would be a banger. And because it'd be a 3-round fight, I think they would both go in there with the mentality of starting early. So I think it'd be a good fight, start to finish. I think this time, to be honest, I might pick Moreno to win. I think he is a little bit better. But I think this would be another scrap. So it's following the theme of great fights. And I want to see this. And whoever wins this, especially Moreno, if Moreno wins this, he would definitely get a title shot. But Royval, if he wins, he could fight somebody like Manel Kape or Taira next. No, he's beat Taira, not Taira. Scratch that. I don't know who he'd fight if he wins this, but yeah, I just think this would be cool, man. And Brandon Moreno, if a Mexican wins at the White House, it'd be cool. Who knows? Who knows? I just think it'd be a good fight. Next one, Yuri Prohaska versus Khalil Roundtree. It's just pure violence. Somebody's getting knocked out. I think Khalil would get slept brutally. I think Yuri would knock his head off. I just think Yuri is a lot better. He's more dangerous. He hits harder. I think he's got better defense, and yeah, I think Yuri would win, but there is a huge chance that Yuri gets hit with a big shot and knocked out. And putting these two guys in a fight is a recipe for a highlight reel, and that is exactly what a White House card needs. And if Yuri wins his post-fight speech in the White House, he's going to be yapping nonsense. It's going to be awesome to watch. And yeah, I mean, what do I need to say? This is good shit. I think, dude, UFC needs to hire me. I can make good fights on the spot. And this would make sense too, because Yuri just graduated. We're getting right back into training. Khalil's gonna need some time off, so they could make this fight happen by the end of the year on a different card anyway. So yeah, I think this is a fire matchup. Good step for Khalil. He beat Jamal Hill. Time to see if he can beat a guy who beat Jamal Hill. So I think this is a great step up. I don't want to see Yuri versus Olberg, to be honest. I'm not that interested in that. And Yuri just beat Jamal Hill. So let's see if he can beat Khalil, who just beat Jamal Hill, you know? It's like Jamal Hill's fathers fighting. So yeah, this would be a great matchup, and I want to see it. This one, a lot of people might not like this one. I think this is a sick matchup. This would be a great striking match. I don't think Song Yadong would be able to take O'Malley down. I think people are underestimating O'Malley's takedown defense because Marab grapple fucked him. It's Marab. I got news for you guys. He can do that to literally anybody except Umar Nurmagomedov. And yeah, I think this would be a great striking match. It's going to be Sean O'Malley on the outside, throwing his kicks, trying to land long counter punches, and Song Yadong would be trying to get on the inside, landing big hooks. Mix in the wrestling, which I don't think he would, be very successful at. I think Sean would win, but at the same time, I think this is a good test for him because this is not an easy fight at all. And if he can beat someone like Song Yadong, that's a great name on his resume because if we're being real, before he got catapulted into title contention when he fought Peter Yan, he really did not beat anybody. So we've seen him fight Yan, Aljo, and Cheeto, and Marat. That's literally it. I don't think he's fought anybody else in the top 15. So it's about time we start seeing him fight some of these, a little bit lower ranked names, but still amazing fighters. And I think this is a sick fight. American versus Chinese. This is big. This is big. This says beef, dude. This is important. But number 5, starting the main card, we've got Max Holloway versus Charles Oliveira. Win or loss for Max Holloway at 318. This is what should be next. I think Max Holloway is going to win at 318, and I think he would win this fight. I think Oliveira would not be able to take him down. I don't think he would be able to. And I think Charles would just piece him up on the feet. I think he would be so much faster. I think he would ping Charles's head around like a, what the fuck is it called, dude? I'm losing my fucking mind. I can't speak. I think Max would piece up Charles and knock him out. TKO him within 4 rounds. But this is a great fight. Their first fight was very inconclusive. They've been in the UFC for such a long time. Both of them are at the tail end of their careers. And this is almost guaranteed to be a great fight. So we're following the theme of great fights. This is something that would 100% fit on a White House card. And yeah, I think this is a perfect next step for both guys, win or loss, because if you've got Max Holloway winning, then he'll have beaten Justin Gaethje, Dustin Poirier, and Charles Oliveira in the last 3 of his 4 fights, with the one loss being to Ilia Topuria. That's crazy. This is a big name for his resume. Same thing with Charles. If he can rebound and get a win against Max Holloway, then it proves he's still got it. He's not washed yet. So I would love to see this, especially if Max does end up beating Dustin. I think this would be an even better fight. And I think this could happen like not on a White House card at like maybe November, December, January if we're pushing it. Charles said he thinks he'd be ready to fight by November, December. And I would love to see this. This is a perfect next fight for both guys. So, next fight, Dan Hooker versus Justin Gaethje. I know a lot of people are wanting Patty versus Gaethje on the White House card. Fuck that. This is going to be a stand-up striking match. It's going to be a fucking brawl. Both of them are going to leave the octagon with years taken off of their life. And that might sound sad, but that's what we want to see as fans. We want to see people take damage, have fucking scraps. And this is a fucking perfect. Justin Gaethje in the White House. It makes all the sense in the world. Gaethje's a very patriotic guy. Hooker, Australian, has nothing to do with anything that I'm saying. I'm rambling right now. But this fight has been booked, and people were very excited about it when it was booked. Book it again. All right? We don't need to see Justin Gaethje fight a grappler in what could very well be his last fight. I think this is a more winnable fight for Gaethje than Paddy or Arman Tsarukyan, and I think it's a more interesting fight. I think it's a more fun fight. This is probably going to be one of the best fights of the night. I mean, I think I'd go with Dan Hooker to win, but I honestly don't know. It's a very tough fight to predict because I don't know how Dan Hooker's chin is going to hold up. And at the same time, I don't know how Justin's chin is going to hold up because Fiziev didn't really land anything huge on him in their last fight. So I think this is a perfect fight. This is the fourth fight on the main card. Third fight, Alexandre Pantoja versus Joshua Van. I think this would be perfect. Somebody in this fight, it's either going to be Pantoja getting an easy finish with a rear naked choke, or Joshua Van is going to put up a hell of a fight because there's no way he gets laid on for 5 rounds. He's either going to get submitted or he's going to put on an amazing fight. So it's kind of a win-win situation. I think Joshua Van would do better than most people would give him credit for. I think he would. I don't know who I'd pick right now. Van would probably lose by decision, but I think he would be able to stuff a lot of Pantoja's takedowns and piece him up on the feet, but I think Pantoja would be able to land some big shots too, mix in his grappling, maybe get close to some submissions. I think this would be an absolutely amazing fight, and Joshua Van coming off fight of the year, putting him in the White House makes a bunch of sense. So yeah, great fight. Now this one might go against my theme of real blood fucking combat because I have a feeling this could be boring, but at the same time, Merab is coming off his first finish in the UFC, I think. No, he finished Marlon Moraes, but that doesn't count. It's Marlon Moraes. So his first real finish in the UFC. Yeah, I don't think Corey would win this, but the main reason I have this on here is because I want to hear Merab just fucking yap on the microphone about the White House and he loves the USA and all that. I think it would be very funny to listen to, and somehow if Bedtime MMA is watching this, you would have to put Merab yapping post-fight speech on your bingo card for this event. I think that is exactly what would happen. Corey could cause some issues for Merab, specifically I think with his leg locks. Corey has very good leg locks. I think they are kind of underutilized in MMA because when fighters use them, they're using them to try and get a finish. I think they're better used if you try and get space to get up or just cause some damage to your opponent's legs. I think Corey would be able to do that, but I think Merab is just built different. He's going to walk Corey down, and I don't think Corey has any chance of hurting him with literally anything on the feet except a flying knee, and I just don't see Merab getting knocked out by a flying knee. But if Corey won, it'd be fucking sick. So I'd love to see this fight. And the main event, it's obvious. It's obvious, you know. John Jones versus Tom Aspinall. This is the fight. Jones is back in the testing pool. This is the only fucking way we could get him to fight Tom Aspinall, is if he gets to fight in the White House. How fucking funny would it be if Jones comes back after ducking Tom, saying it's not an interesting fight, it's not a big fight, and then the fight headlines what would probably be the biggest card of all time. And then Jones gets knocked out in the White House, in his country, and gets fucking humiliated in front of the fucking president. That would be a fucking dream. I know I'm American, maybe I'm a fucking traitor, but I'm not rooting for Jones just because he's American. Tom Aspinall is my boy. Watching him knock out Jones in the White House would be so fucking sick. And if they do go to the White House and Tom Aspinall is still the champion, this is a no-brainer. Okay, this needs to happen. But I don't think Jones is ever going to come back. And I honestly, if you want to know what I think, I don't think they're even going to go to the White House. I think that's a pipe dream. I think Trump is just doing his yapping about stuff that's not going to happen. Like he says a lot. He says he's going to do a lot of stuff, and a lot of it never ends up happening. I think this is going to be one of those things. But this is the White House card. This is like if it was happening at the end of the year. In reality, it would happen next year in July, so a whole year from now. So this card would not be a reality, but I think if we were hypothetically going to the White House soon, this would be the perfect card. And if they're going to the White House, they better fucking make it a card full of good fights. I don't want Colby Covington. I don't want Sean Strickland. I want fucking warriors who are going to go out there and hurt their opponents, not a jab and teep fest. So yeah, I think this is a perfect card. Let me know what you guys think, and goodbye.